How's it going, everybody? My cup of tea here, back to a reaction video. And I'm here to continue learning more about Digimon. Yay, yay. Now, I know I've been slacking. I think it's been, what, 2 months, 3 months since we last watched the Digimon Season 1 review, or not review, like the retrospective from William over here, right there. There we go, yes. But I'm here to watch the Season 2 now, or Digimon 2? I think that's what it's called. And since it's been 2 months, I did rewatch the first part of the video so I can, understand what's happening, because this, I think, is a sequel to the first Digimon. And after Digimon 2 is when they go like their own like standalone, I think, series. I think. But yeah, I have rewatched the first part. I know what's going on now. I think I know what's happening in most parts. So let's go on with Season 2 or Digimon 2. I'm not sure, but let's get it.
Digimon. On the surface,
I'm gonna put on captions.
Clone, but once you dive deeper, you discover it's actually a Tamagotchi clone. But for boys, Digimon's style was influenced by cool things like Marvel Comics.
Let me actually make sure this is the right part of the video. Okay, yeah, we're good, we're good. This is Digimon 2, I believe.
I think they took a little too much influence from Rob Liefeld. Look at this dinosaur with pecs. The concept is simple enough. You have digital pets, digital monsters, Digimon. As you raise them, you take care of them, and they transform into bigger
PlayStation
Digimon.
game?
The
What?
anime adaptation, Digimon Adventure, which
Sure.
really only existed to
we're good.
promote and sell a line of toys and video games, took this simple concept and made a heartfelt story out of it.
Yep.
7 kids on summer vacation are
Oh, we're going to
transported
summer
to a
right now.
magical
Alright, cool.
world, the digital world. While trying
Yep.
to survive in this new environment and get home, they're each given a partner Digimon and a Digivice, which helps them to channel the bond between them and their Digimon.
Backhand?
The animation in
Leomon.
the show sucks. You probably start to notice it around the 78th time an attack animation is recycled in the same episode. So
That's old animes back
characters
then.
are used
Makes
as
sense.
a crutch for the lack of exciting action. As the kids grow
That's
up
Izzy, right?
and develop,
I think
their
so.
Digimon are able to reach stronger
Angelmon.
forms or Digi-evolve. Eventually, the kids take on the responsibility of Digi-Destined to save the digital world from evil. It's flawed. It's
Hey,
silly,
Elvis,
but
the Elvismon, I call him. Wait, no, go back to Elvismon.
of Digi-Destined to save the digital.
I think he was the main villain of the later part of the season. Misstiff. Hold on, I wrote it down. His name was Mitosismon, I think. Getting that right? He went to the human realm or human world.
Digital world from evil.
I believe.
It's flawed.
Elvismon, there you go. Yep, hilarious.
It's silly, but it also grounds itself within its characters. The original series
Yeah,
holds a
I wrote
special
some notes
place
down
in my
just in
heart
case.
nostalgically. But for some reason, despite watching it on TV just as much, I can't say the same for Adventure 02.
Wait,
the
what did you say?
scene on
Hold on, time
TV
out.
holds a special place in my heart nostalgically. But for some reason, despite watching it on TV just as much, I can't say the same for Adventure 02.
Uh-oh,
the
what happened
sequel.
with 02?
I think it's because there weren't as many home
Okay.
video releases, so maybe not having access to it all the time resulted in less of a connection.
It's weird because as a kid, I remember liking O2 significantly more than the original.
Okay.
But that's probably just because the main Digimon was blue, and my favorite color was blue.
Okay.
My critiquing skills haven't grown up that much.
Adventure 02 has more animation than Adventure.
Okay,
it's
that's
not
good.
high quality animation, but there's more of it. Just like how there's more characters. They aren't high quality characters, but
the
there's
captions
more of
blocking it.
them. Adventure 02 takes place 3 years after
You know
the
what?
original show.
I don't even need captions. We don't need captions. Let's take it off.
It's not Digimon Adventure 2, it's specifically 02, referencing
Oh, we're in school.
2002,
Okay.
the best year, the year of blue. If you're watching the English
Okay.
dub, all of the original kids are now in high school except for the younger ones, TK and Kari. For the most part, the older kids are sidelined for the new team. TK, Kari, Yoli, Cody, and Davis, all of whom are introduced and reintroduced in a messy first 2 episodes.
So they're gonna be focused on the middle school kids. We got TK and Kari though. Okay, okay.
There's a lot of exposition, yet hardly any time is spent introducing the new kids to the world. 02 aired only a week after the original series finished.
Oh, really? They don't get like a space in between. Like, all right. Okay, all right. Go ahead.
So the audience didn't have to be reintroduced to anything, but hearing the new kids spit out digital world jargon is odd because they haven't had anything explained to them yet.
Digimon Adventure!
The key narrative difference with the original is the fact that no one is trapped in the digital world. The new team is given a new Digivice called a D3, which can be used to open up gateways to the digital world from any computer. So the older kids have to catch a ride with the new ones. Usually one or two of the older kids will tag along, so they're not completely absent, just completely useless. The D3s are an important plot point and tie into the show's primary villain, the Digimon Emperor, the first human villain in Digimon. The Emperor uses a dark Digivice to take control of wild Digimon and block the original kids' Digimon from transforming to higher power levels. He amplifies this power throughout the original kids. The Emperor uses a dark Digivice to take control of wild Digimon and block the original kids' Digimon from transforming to higher power levels. He amplifies this power throughout the digital world using dark cell phone towers called Dark Spires. The new kids get around this through a new transformation, by using power from Digi-Eggs and the new Digivices to equip their Digimon with Digi-Armor to armor Digivolve into Armor Digimon.
That was so much Digi.
Now that's branding.
That's so much Digi you just said to me.
Digimon Adventure bred all of these cool Transformer-style toys where you take one Digimon and transform it into another. Digimon 02 had a similar line, but instead it was just eggs. Which is lame. The ability to go in and out of the digital world kind of eliminates the greater sense of adventure that Adventure had. There's no camping or scavenging for food. They just go home to their beds at the end of the episode. There's less urgency, and sometimes it's tedious.
I see you can bring the Digimon. I can put the captions back on because I'm gonna be talking. I can see you can bring the Digimons back into the real world if you like use this device. Like you can go in and out, bring them with you. Okay.
Control spires, maybe find a new Digi-Egg, rinse and repeat. Often it feels more like they're running errands rather than having this great adventure. It's also hard to accept these new kids are automatically invested in what happens to the digital world. They take on the objective to defeat the Emperor immediately. In Adventure, their objective at first was self-serving. They had to get home. It was only later they took on the greater responsibility of protecting the digital world. Poor format aside, when the show is on, it's really strong. We're soon introduced to Ken, the real identity of the Digimon Emperor. In episode 8, Davis plays a soccer game against Ken without knowing he's the Emperor. I love it. Dramatic irony. But by the end of the episode, Ken reveals his identity and runs away from home to live in the digital world. Getting rid of Ken's human world storyline makes this side of the story more of a weight onto the plot. This could have been a great opportunity to build dramatic irony and differentiate the sequel from the original. Maybe Ken gets close to the team without them knowing he's the Emperor.
I thought they'd become friends. That would have been, that felt obvious to me, like they would become friends. Ken and, I forgot his name already. This character, I guess the main character of O2, they become friends, they talk a little bit. And blah blah blah.
He can find out information about the kids' lives and use it to his advantage. But the only dramatic elements that come from the human world side of the story are the kids having to hide their Digimon from and to find excuses to tell their parents when they've been spending time in the digital world. At this point, it's stale and a missed opportunity for something new. Still, Ken is the most interesting villain from either of the series. This is the first human villain Digimon has had, and it's also the first villain with depth. It's a lot more depth than a monkey doing an Elvis impersonation. I mean, he kicks a puppy. Ken's partner Digimon Wormmon tries to act as Ken's conscience, and we get a sense that Ken hasn't always been the puppy-kicking type. He's messing around with the darkness of the digital world, which is something he really doesn't understand. When he tries to make his own Digimon, he ends up stealing data from Devimon, the first villain from the original series, and a bit of a sore spot for TK. TK's Digimon died in a battle with Devimon. Digimon get reborn, so don't worry about that. So seeing Ken screw with Devimon is the turning point. It's one thing when Thor Turtle Jamie Heinemannmon attacks the magic vampire, but it's another feeling entirely when two kids are punching each other in the face.
When you can't think of anything to say, do you always resort to fighting?
Who was that? That's not TK. That's not his voice. That's not his voice at all. Wait a minute. What's going on here? His voice deep. His voice was not deep in the how what's the time frame like? It was like a 2-year, 3-year from 01 to 02?
I guess.
The scene where TK confronts Ken is so tonally different from any other part of the show, but that's why it works. No other villain in Digimon has ever doubted themselves. They're cartoon villains, unable to question their moral alignment. But Ken is human and able to change. And when I say change, I don't just mean the kitty cat turning into a scantily clad angel whose figure now costs $4,000. I mean character development. Ken getting his ass kicked and losing his Digimon opens his eyes to all the dumb shit he's done. We learn Ken hasn't always
Okay.
kicked puppies, but his turn to darkness began through his grieving, after his older brother was hit by a car and died. Digimon has always dealt with these heavier domestic family issues, but having a character become a villain and go through a redemption arc as a result of their problems takes the concept to another level.
Okay.
That's what a sequel should do. Ken is eventually brought into the team and becomes a core member. But all that development is thrown out the window when they explain Ken just had an evil spore inside of him, which made him evil.
What?
Because why have a complex character when magic?
Okay, nah, cool. They ruined it. What? Yeah, that made perfect sense. I became, I've been doing dark powers, whatever. I've been swayed by the dark side because of what happened to my brother. I've been depressed, blah, blah, blah. But you guys talked me out of it. You guys reasoned with me. I'm part of you guys, but he has some dark spore inside of him, like an evil. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. Ryan Reynolds. That's weird. Isn't that weird, Ryan? That's pretty weird. I don't know. And we're back.
Which made him evil. Because why have a complex character when magic? Digimon Adventure 02 spends its first 21 episodes dedicated to the Digimon Emperor arc, which eventually wraps up, but not without distraction. And there's a reason for that. After Adventure wrapped up, 2 new creative directors were put in charge of the story, replacing the original director who left to protest a sequel being made. Between their disagreements and studio meddling, the show never found a clear direction after the Emperor storyline. New storylines are introduced and dropped. New clear direction after the Emperor story.
Why is Star Wars here? Okay.
Storyline. New storylines are introduced and dropped. New antagonists come in and distract from developing plots, and plot lines are introduced only to have a quick, anticlimactic ending. We eventually learn that someone has been controlling Ken, then we learn that person was controlled by somebody else, before finally learning that MyCupOfTea, the best known villain from the first series, was behind it all. Its inclusion feels tacked on, and that's only because it was. Between it, there are small moments where they attempt to recapture the emotional moments from the Emperor storyline and attempts to expand on the lore, but it's ultimately lost amongst the rest of the mess. The show ends with an epilogue, which sees much of the cast pursuing out-of-character careers. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Speaking of bad taste, there are 2 major storylines which were dropped entirely. The first was hinted at as early on as episode 13. We get a tonally strange episode apart from the Emperor storyline where Kari is brought to this weird alternate dimension between both worlds called the Dark Ocean. At the end of the episode, we hear this sinister music as this dark, giant, silhouetted, evil, Cthulhu-ass looking Digimon rises out of the ocean.
Who is this evil, dark, undersea master?
Yeah, who is it? Yeah.
The upcoming Digimon, digital monster.
Yeah.
We never hear from it again. Digimon Wiki says it's Dragomon. Wow, this is so much cooler than what we ended up getting. Episode 13 also sees the return of the show's greatest villain, the Digi-Rap.
Digi-Dudes will Digi-Rule with Digi-Ability and Digi-Tool.
The second drop storyline is Daemon, who shows up only a few episodes before the series is over and is defeated a few episodes later. Filler within the final 8 episodes. Daemon, who shows up only a few episodes before the series is over and is defeated a few episodes later. Filler within the final 8 episodes. Daemon is defeated when it gets sent to the Dark Ocean. 2 dropped plot lines resolve each other. Instead of
Wait, so they mentioned the Dark Ocean, but they never went back to, that Cthulhu monster, but they sent Daemon into the Dark Ocean right here? What? Wait, when was that episode, when they sent Daemon into the Dark Ocean? Was that after the Emperor arc? Because if so, that might be reason why, because, again, he said that there are some creative direction decisions. Things happen. I don't know. Let's keep it going.
MyCupOfTea Daemon should have been the final villain and have been resolve each other. Instead of MyCupOfTea, Daemon should have been the final villain and have been revealed to be Devimon fully evolved. Daemon is in Devimon's evolutionary line, and it would have bookended the beginning of Adventure with the end of 02 and had a nice little tie into the original series. There are some nice nods to the original series, which are nice, and the plot of the Digimon film Our War Game is important to the new characters. The new kids...
Yeah, that's the one where one of the I forgot, it was a villain Digimon that got into the, basically in the internet, and he was about to send off, some Dukes to I forgot where, and the original cast had to stop character by using the power of the internet, which was kind of wonky at the time because it was like the early 90s or late 90s, and so internet wasn't that, how do I say, not stable, but it wasn't like internet problems back then we would never face right now. Kind of like they had to like do some stuff to get the internet working.
And the plot of the series. There are some nice nods to the original series, which are nice. And the plot of the Digimon film, Our War Game, is important to the new characters. The new kids were chosen to be Digi-destined after witnessing the internet battle featured in Our War Game.
Wait, what? Oh, sorry, hold on.
The new kids were chosen to be Digi-destined after witnessing the internet battle featured in Our War Game.
Hey, what about the other kids then? Wait, hold on. That doesn't make sense to me.
This also leads to hundreds of Digi-destined around the world.
Okay, never mind. Now I'm like, yeah, that makes sense now. I'm like, didn't other kids watch it? Like the battle happened? Okay, yeah.
My favorite series of episode post Emperor, and actually probably in the whole series, is the Digimon World Tour arc. This sees the old kids teaming up with the new kids and traveling across the world. But I think maybe the reason I like this short saga so much is because it takes place over winter. And all the characters are in cute winter clothes.
Okay.
Aesthetic. We see new Digi-destined and get a chance to see the characters interact one-on-one. And there are also some nice episodes which allow us to see how the original team has grown up over the years. The quiet, personal moments of Digimon are where the show shines. However, I like this arc because we got to spend time with the old cast, and that's a problem. The original show had this really simple plot, so character was always the focus. But the convoluted nature of O2 makes it harder for the characters to develop because it's always changing direction.
You okay?
TK is shown to have trauma, but it never manifests itself in anything but anger. TK is the obvious choice for team leader, but because Davis has goggles, he's chosen despite being totally incompetent in a leadership position. He's the least interesting character and a little shit. Kari, like in the original series, unfortunately never has time to grow. The Dragomon and Dark Ocean storyline seemed like it would be dedicated to her, but her relationship to the Dark Ocean never manifests itself in anything other than her grabbing her head and screaming.
Akira.
Well, I like Yoli. She's fun. But Cody is the worst. Let me rephrase that. Cody is treated the worst. He's the youngest member of the team. His arc is him coming into his own and being seen as a valuable member. In the original, TK also had to prove himself as the youngest member. But the difference is the reason why they had to do so. TK's brother, Matt, was overprotective of him in Adventure, but everyone in O2, the characters we're supposed to like, are just totally dismissive of Cody. So his arc requires everyone else to be a jerk.
Wait, so they was clowning Cody like that? That's not teamwork bonding. What's going on here? What? It was like, hey, Cody, he don't like you. Go somewhere. Shoo.
Ken is the only character who's fleshed out, and everyone else's development has to do with their relationship to him. In Adventure, the kids were given crests, representing a trait they best exemplify. Courage, friendship, love, etc. Which tied directly with their Digimon getting stronger. The Digimon transforming was really symbolic of their own growth. However, in O2, most of the transformations are tied to the Digi-Egg. So most transformations are earned through finding an object instead of character growth. However, to continue to make the old team completely useless, it's revealed that they gave up their crests to protect the digital world in their absence. This creates a few tiny, massive plot holes, but that's just nitpicking. So let's not really get into that. I mean, I don't mind when they make an exception to the rule.
4,000.
The new kids get around this by DNA digivolving, which sees two of their Digimon combining into
So yeah, I was trying to think about what happened. So the main cast, the original cast, besides TK and Kari, they gave up their crest to protect the digital world, which has some plot holes I don't know about. So they won't be able to interact with their Digimon again. I guess they can use the new cast to like go to the Digi world to see him, I guess. But that sucks. I thought they would play a role later on, like, hey, you guys need our help? Here we go. We're the original cast. We'll help you out.
To one. This by DNA digivolving, which sees two of their Digimon combining into one. This should be tied into a big character moment, but it actually helps create a big character moment. When Ken and the team are still unsure about working together, Ken and Davis's Digimon come together to form Pyeldramon. It's only then that they start to consider the possibility of Ken joining the team. Paildramon should have only been possible after they all forgave Ken. It would have symbolized their coming together.
Makes
Even
sense.
later, DNA Digimon feel underwhelming and unearned. It's just a result of the other kids deciding it's time to let their Digimon come together. As for the new Digimon, they serve the same purpose as they did in the original series. They're either character complements or character contrasts for the human characters, which works a lot better than having them be their own unique characters. The new Digimon are Armadillomon, a Western armadillo, Hawkmon, a hawk, and Vmon, whose English voice sounds like Sid from Ice Age.
Something about Kari. Human girls make human boys act sort of weird.
Digimon
hear
is
it, I hear
known
it.
for its odd English dub, and the dub is as dumb as ever. The actors do a good job, but moments in between drama and action have bad jokes stuck
I gotta hear
inside
this.
them.
Please
Most
let me
of them
hear it.
miss, but some actually had me laughing out loud.
Then how does the story of the birds and the bees go?
Later, Davis. Now's not the time. What do you guys want to play?
Why does that little child know about the birds and the bees?
Of the birds and the bees go?
Later, Davis. Now's not the time. What do you guys want to play?
How about strip time?
Unlike the original series,
Striptease? What is this? What? Davis, what's going on, baby?
the
Buddy?
dramatic moments are allowed to play out without added humor, but the choice in sound effects will often be used to undermine the violence.
It's going to win.
One thing Digimon has always been good
Ew,
about were
that was
references
disgusting
to
sound
Japan
effects.
being kept in, which is unusual for an English dub, especially for a children's show. The show isn't afraid to call a donut a rice ball.
So I made you some rice balls for your trip.
These donuts are great.
Yeah, okay,
I
thank
don't
you.
mind
No, that
the
was
dub
stupid.
so much this time around because
And
the
a
show is a
Pokemon
lot
right
more
there.
tedious. This plot with a serious tone would just...
Sorry, I'm talking
Rice
too
balls
much.
for your trip.
These donuts are great.
I don't mind the dub so much this time around
Okay.
because the show is a lot more tedious. This plot with a serious tone would just be boring. There are a lot more pop-punk songs featured in the dub, all of which are on the Digimon movie soundtrack, which would be the greatest film soundtrack in history if it were not for the Digirap.
Oh, the Digirap returns again.
And here's a little side note. On the official DVD release of the English
still
dub,
playing it. That's
sometimes a
crazy.
TV rating stamp will appear in the corner. I wouldn't be surprised if a clean version of the
word,
English
okay.
dub just didn't exist. There are Blu-rays of the Japanese dub available, all of which have great quality, but it's doubtful that there would ever be a new master of the English dub because Digimon has been relegated to a very niche thing. The new characters just aren't nearly as strong as the original. And they're still splitting screen time with the old cast, who always steal my attention when they're on screen, because that's who I care about. I don't hate the new characters. I enjoy watching them interact with the old cast and, Ken. But the show would have worked a lot better if more focus was put onto them, or if they were just taken out entirely.
I was gonna say something. Let me hear that one more time.
I enjoy watching them interact with the old cast and, Ken, but the show would have worked a lot better if more focus was put onto them or if they were just taken out entirely.
Yeah, when I heard it's gonna be a sequel, I thought they were gonna be focused on the main cast again from 01. I didn't know they would have like a new kids fill the role, but I think the way they should do it, right? They should have been more focused on the old cast or the new cast, I guess, since people love the old cast. Maybe having a show like, hey, you need some help, or maybe a little talking, like let's say one of the new characters like get depressed or like something sad happens or bad happens, they need some advice. Boom, bring in the old cast, bring in Ty, talk with the main character of the group, which is Davis. Talk to him. I mean, they probably did it in the show. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff right now. But I don't think having the old cast Digimon being useless, basically making them useless, is a good idea. I think they should have been useful in the fights. They should have been as strong as the new cast, but they should have been like help a little bit. But the new cast should have been stronger, I feel. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just talking.
This
Keep it
show
going.
could have worked with the old cast while only introducing Ken as a new character. This is a show
That could work,
based
too.
on characters, and when the new characters don't add anything, that's a problem. Digimon Adventure has an ongoing sequel film series called Digimon Adventure Try, and within the first few minutes of the first film, we learn the new characters introduced in 02 have been defeated and are nowhere to be seen. The older kids don't seem to miss them very much, and much of the audience doesn't either.
Dang. Okay. Wow. No Davis. No Cody. No. I forgot the rest.
If Digimon Try continues after its 6-movie run, I'd like to see them return, but it's not something I'm disappointed about. Digimon Adventure 02 is such a mixed bag.
Dang, that's
When it's on,
crazy.
it's really strong, but its good moments are so far and few between. Once it gains momentum, it quickly drops, and interesting ideas are forgotten before they have time to develop. Even though its cast as a whole isn't as strong as the original, the more complex ideas are more interesting when the show is willing to explore them.
The cool thing about the Digimon anime series is despite the fact that this really is just a glorified film and video game commercial, the creative team behind it really cares and really tries. Digimon Adventure 02 didn't fail because people didn't care about it. It failed because two creative directors fought for their own creative vision. And at the
And that never works. I don't think that ever works. Having two creative directors trying to fight for what they think the story should be, that's always going to cause problems. They got to come to an agreement, come to terms or something.
end of the day, that's really cool.
Number 3, Digimon
Creative vision. It failed because two creative directors fought for their own creative vision. And at the end of the day, that's really cool.
Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong what I was saying. I don't know. Maybe I heard it wrong. But all right, before we continue, right, let me just make sure, because we need to watch the OVA. And we're gonna watch the OVA and then the movie, and then we're gonna stop there. Tambers is something different, so yeah.
Number 3, Digimon Hurricane Touchdown / Transcendent Evolution, The Golden Digimentals. That's a long title because it's actually 2 titles. This film premiered during the Summer Toei Film Festival, only a few months after our war game. It aired in 2 parts with another short airing between the 2, and it was later released on DVD. Before I made this video, this was actually the only Digimon movie
I like this art style. I like this art style a lot. This old type art style.
Released on DVD. Before I made this video, this was actually the only Digimon movie I hadn't seen in its original form, and because of that, it totally surprised me. It's pretty good. While visiting Mimi in America, TK and Kari come across a boy named Willis who's tracking down an evil Digimon.
Wait, Mimi is the girl who was like from the 01 review or the summary he did. I think he called her a rally girl who had the she was into fashion. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, she's part of the original cast. Yeah, okay, we're good.
Mimi, along with the other original Digidestined, are captured. The rest of the 02 gang, Davis, Yoli, and Cody, get word of this and travel to America to help TK and Kari rescue the original Digidestined.
Okay.
Once there, the gang meet up with Willis and his Digimon Terriermon.
I like this art
as they head to Summer Memory, a spot where Willis, Terriermon, and his twin Kokomon, the original form of the evil Wendigomon, originally met. At some point, Kokomon was struck with a type of virus and turned evil. It meets up with Willis years later, but is unable to recognize him. So he starts kidnapping all the other characters with the same Digivice and turning them younger in hopes he'll recognize them as Willis. The other kids help Willis track down Wendigomon, who gets progressively more and more removed from its original form, in hopes that they can save the other kids. While these shorts are by no means excellent, they are pretty good. In the Digimon movie, they received the worst treatment, with nearly 30 minutes being cut from the original hour runtime. What resulted were these frantic, nonsensical action pieces cut together with awkwardly paced dialogue scenes. The original piece is the exact opposite. It's slow, it's filled with these little funny quiet moments, and the action is anything but exciting. In fact, it's a bit depressing. Wendigomon is Willis's Digimon, and because it has become a danger to others, Willis has to come to the conclusion to kill it. And that storyline is never lost within the tone of the film. What should be exciting action scenes are undermined by this slow, creepy music and the characters getting genuinely stressed when they see their Digimon get hurt.
Hold on. Oh, this is the music?
You really feel that this is a hard decision for Willis to come to. When Wendigomon is finally defeated, there's not a big triumphant attack, it just ends, almost anticlimactically. I mean, of course, there's a cool new Digivolution and Angel-Woman shows up, which isn't related to anything, but I still enjoyed it. This wasn't what I was expecting it to be. It's a little bit of a bummer and a low note, but if you like Digimon, I definitely recommend watching it. It's interesting to see these characters in a cleaner constructed plot than 02. 02 is such a mess that it's really easy to nitpick, and the characters are more likely to get on my nerves. But in this context, I think they work. For example, because of the more subdued tone, Davis's frantic personality works a lot better. It balances out. Also, if you look at it, it appears many of these plot points were repeated in Digimon Try, just with the cast swapped. I mean, the original kids go missing, and due to an infection, a new member of the group has to come to the conclusion to kill their Digimon. The only difference here is the 02 kids care about finding the original Digidestined, and in Try, they quickly forget about it. Huh. I guess the difference between
Let me hear that again.
The only difference here is the 02 kids care about finding the original Digidestined, and in Try, they quickly forget about it.
Okay, that's right, because he's mentioned that earlier, because the original kids, during Try, when something happened, I saw explosions, they were like, apparently, from what he said.
Huh. I guess the difference between the 02 cast and the original cast are the fact that the 02 cast are actually good human beings, apparently. Hey, so this spot used to have my original Digimon the movie review. However, I used a lot of copyrighted music in that video, and this video kept getting copyright claimed, so I decided just to remove this segment altogether. If you want to go see my original Digimon movie review, which is very angsty and over-exaggerative, I'll post a link in the description or at the end of this video. Number 4.
So is this a different one? Wait, hold on. Let me just double check. Did we not watch the Digimon movie review last time? Yeah, wasn't that the film one right here? Let me just double check his link. No, I think we did watch it. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we watched it.
The Digimon movie. Okay,
right, last one we're watching.
I know I talked about this one in a whole 20-minute video, but I wanted to have another go at it because it made it seem a lot worse than it actually
it's the same one. Oh, it's the same one. Okay, well, all right, we're watching it again, I guess.
Since going back and watching a lot of Digimon, I realized I really do appreciate the Digimon movie for what it is. It's silly, it's funny at times, and its soundtrack is truly awesome. It introduced me to a lot of music that I grew to really appreciate as an older teenager, and it definitely is a fun watch for Digimon fans, even if it's a total disaster from outside observers. What I'm saying is, it's fun, and it has the one thing every other Digimon movie is missing. The Digi-Rap.
Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know it was coming? Our Digi-Destiny starts today. Let me hear you say.
Number 5, The Revenge of Diaboromon.
Wait, now I'm confused. What's going on? Oh, wait, what? Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm confused now. Glasses on. What did we just watch? That was a quick... I thought he was going to talk more about it. Okay, I guess he's just saying I liked it now.
Number 5, The Revenge of Diaboromon.
Okay, number 5. So we're on... We're here. We're here. Until I hear Tambers, we're going to keep on watching.
While the first 3.5 Digimon movies never received a proper adaptation, many actually did. In 2001, Disney bought Saban and with it the rights to Digimon's English dub. To promote reruns of the first 4 seasons on Disney's new programming block Jetix, Disney brought the original English producers on to do a dubbed adaptation of the then remaining 4 Digimon movies, including The Revenge of Diaboromon. The Revenge of Diaboromon is a potentially canon, maybe non-canon sequel to Digimon Adventure 02. Taking place 3 months after the show's finale. Diaboromon, the virus Digimon from our war game, is back.
Oh, he's back?
This time it's got a different plan. It's going to escape into the physical world. It sets a trap for some of the Digidestined, but then starts sending itself as tiny, low-data versions of itself through people's cell phones before it can finally come together and get big. Revenge of Diaboromon is probably at the bottom of my list for Digimon Adventure movies. It's not bad, it's just not that interesting. The idea of Diaboromon sending itself as smaller bits of data is clever, but in a, kind of way. Not in a, oh, that's awesome kind of way like in our war game. The final battle between Omnimon and Armageddonmon in Tokyo Bay and later Imperial Dramon is awesome. The highlight of these films are the higher quality animation, and it really shows in the choreography. Like Omnimon blasting Armageddonmon in its mouth. That will always be cool. And there's little moments too, like the sound of Matt's harmonica and Kari's whistle coming together to be a representation of Omnimon's energy. That really gets back to the heart of Digimon, which is the kids interacting with giant monsters. Omnimon is defeated and so is Imperial Dramon, but their energy combines to make a new version of Imperial Dramon, Paladin Mode, which finishes the fight. It's cool, and the half-hour runtime makes the film's lack of substance enjoyable. I wish more dumb action movies were 30 minutes. They'd be fun that way.
I actually second that. I'm not really a movie guy, but unless I really enjoy the series, like the let's say Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man, so I'll watch a movie of that. Like 2-hour-long movies, I can't do. I just can't do it. I'm like, nah. But if they were 30 minutes, like 30-minute goofy action movies, I'm all down for that.
Instead, they're 2.5 hours, and the lack
Yeah,
of
there you go,
substance
yeah.
becomes apparent all too quickly. The Digimon movies are cool because it's an opportunity to see these characters animated well. The action is cool, the expressions are fun, and all around they're just enjoyable. Digimon. Digital monsters. A line of digital pets created to
Are
be
we
an
on Tamers
extension
now?
of Tamagotchi, but marketed towards tiny.
I think we're on Tamers now. I think this is Tamers. I believe this is Tamers. Yep, we are in Tamers now. So we will stop right here. We're gonna stop right here if I get invested. Okay, so Digimon 02 definitely has some problems from hearing this summary or this retrospective series compared to 01. It's only 01 right now is like the best, which only watched two. Only heard of season 1 and season 2 or 01 and 02. But so far 01 seems to be the best. 02, they did try something, but I think the creative directors definitely messed up the story or the plot going on. Again, I was actually curious about that Dark Ocean plot with Kari and the Cthulhu monster in the water. I was like, okay, that looks interesting. But they never talked about it. Why did they bully Coley? Why did they bully him? So random. But I heard there were some new transformations or new Digimon evolutions. That's great. It didn't seem like he enjoyed it. Well, yeah, he didn't enjoy it as much compared to 01, it seems like. I do think as a sequel, I think he missed some of the marks. Like he said, they probably should just focus on the main cast and introduce a new character like Ken, I believe it was. That probably wouldn't have been the best move right there. Because if you introduce a new bunch of characters, you have to like basically, commit to them, focus on them. Go into their backstory. If they have any, go into their story, their character work, development. You gotta develop them, like they did with 01. But let me know if I'm wrong. But did they keep bringing in the old cast in 02? Like you have the new cast, and all of a sudden, let's mention the old cast real quick. Let's focus on them. Did they keep doing that? Basically, they took away development from the new cast to the old cast. Because if so, I don't think that was the right call. I don't know. I do know there's a Digimon Try out there. We saw the openings for Digimon Try. I think it's a series, so basically I think what they did for 02 they did for Try, but they just used the old cast, and I think that worked. We'll know in a little bit once we get to Digimon Try Adventure. We'll know if that worked or not. But yeah, now at this point I don't think it's a continuation. I don't think Tamers is like a sequel of 02. I think it's its own thing, and going forward they're all gonna be their own thing until I think Try shows up. But no, this is cool. I was curious how they would do 02. I think it has some good moments in there too. Again, Ken, their first human villain, and apparently it's the best villain to Billiam. But yeah, in a little bit we're gonna be watching Digimon Tamers. I think people like Tamers a lot too. I know they had a cool opening when I heard it, so I'm looking forward to watching Tamers. Maybe there won't be any Digimon rap, Digi-rap, we'll see. But yeah, this is cool. On to the next one in a little bit. So hope you enjoyed my reaction, and thank you for watching. My cup of tea is out of here. We'll see you later. TK. I feel like TK should have been the one to be the leader of the group. It would have made obvious sense. He's been with the OGs in 01. He had a lot of character development. It would have made a lot of sense, but they chose, what was it? Davis? And his weird jokes? His adult-like jokes? I don't know. I have to watch it. We'll see.